So now we're going to go on and we're going to create that gorgeous landscape, that seascape that we've all been working towards this whole time. And to be fair, if you look, there are certain points where the background are interrupted by your characters, by your creatures. So we're going to start with this dolphin. That's the first figure we're going to do. So it's always good to have an idea of what you're drawing to know which step you're going to do first. So for me, it will be this dolphin because it's coming out of the water. Then I'm going to draw the water line, and then I'm going to draw these creatures. Then I'm going to add the little bits of background pieces here, and then for the last thing I'm going to add these creatures in. Alright, so we're going to work from the top and work our way down. The reason being is that for me I'll end up with my hand covered in ink, so it's just a not logical, but it's a practical thing to start at the top and come down. I'm also left-handed, so I tend to work from the right to left. So when I start colouring, I'll start here and work my way here, and purely because I want to keep this part of my hand as clean as possible, and I don't want to smudge my work. If I worked here, I would go straight over my work and it would blur this work, and that's not what I want. So there we are, that's what we're working towards. So we're going to crack on. So let's have a little look. We'll start with the dolphin. As you all know, I hope you've been practicing the little dolphin. So here we are, we've got a dolphin here and his nose, and then before we move anywhere further, we're going to bring that down there. We have to put his fin in, his flipper. Oh, this dolphin is a bit bigger than my dolphin that I drew before. That's okay. Oh no, he's just a little bit shorter. Oh, he's super cute. Oh, that's really lovely. And that's really lovely to see. He's totally different. He's a totally different dolphin. Oh my gosh, he's like so different. Oh, I love that. I love that. He's a totally different dolphin. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add in the waves of the water. Now, you don't want your water to be too far down because you won't get all of your under the sea picture in. So as again, remember, it's cartoony. It's not meant to be lifelike. We are doing the non-serious piece right now. So we're going to start with that. We started with the hardest from the first time. Now we're going to go on to drawing that easiest turtle. So we're using our fingers. It's going to be smaller, I think, than you've been practicing. So we're going to work our way around it. Hard for me to do the faces nicely with pen, so I might have to change my pen to do the faces because I need a finer tip than I have right there. So now we're going to do the shark. Don't forget that lovely goofy teeth. Oh, he's so different. I love it. And that's what happens every time you draw something, it will change. So now we're going to do that last turtle that we drew, because we're going to keep the turtles on the top here. Uh-oh. I think we've got a little bit of a... We're going to have to put the turtle in the background. We've got a bit of a collision course. If you notice, while I'm drawing, I'm kind of changing the steps a little bit. That's for no other reason than, again, I'm going from one side to the other. And when you're drawing a little bit smaller, you've practiced a bit more, and you may end up knowing a different way of doing it that feels a little bit more comfortable. So I showed you the way where one way, and it can actually develop as you go along. So now the thing about this, the flora and fauna at the bottom, so the seaweed, is visually things look better in threes. So we're going to draw 3 lots of seaweed. So that's just squiggly lines. 1 lot here, 1 lot here, and then you finish it with a rocky outcropping like that. So you ground it straight away. Don't let it float around on your picture. So then we're going to have another one here. Make a smaller one there. Ground it on the floor. Now here you could do, again, the same kind of thing. I chose to do, here I did straight ones, but I wasn't too big a fan of it. So I'm going to do the same again. Again, odd numbers work beautifully visually. So then we're going to put 2 more in, which will make it then 5, which is sticking with the odd numbers, but we're going to do more like coral, so they look like a hand in this picture. So if you were going to draw under the sea hand, that's what it would look like. And look, it doesn't have to be perfect because none of it will be exactly the same. It's meant to be fun and exciting and joyful. It's not meant to be serious. It's meant to be a happy picture. Talking of which, we need to bring, I'm going to put my example here so I can see it. But we need to have our happy little creature right here with the biggest head of them all. That wonderful octopus. So remember, we need to make sure he's got 4 on each side. Oh look, he's hiding behind there. 8 tentacles in total. 6, 7, 8. I got distracted by engaging him in the environment that I've created for him. We put his eyes right there, didn't we? Now we've got the last 2, which are the hardest for the bottom of the picture, and so we're going to start over here with that lovely seahorse. So I just have to take my time, take a few deep breaths. And remember, he had that gorgeous tummy. And I think his tail's going to curl a little bit like this. Yeah, he's not going to have a crazy tail. And his, oh, most of his spiky bits can't be seen. Isn't that interesting? Because he's right up close. So give him a little eye here. Nice eye. Nice little mouth there. And his stripes. Oh, love that. Look at him. Isn't he gorge? Absolutely beautiful. So now the last one, last but not least, we're going to have the little clownfish. So remember, with the clownfish, you're not finishing it all the way, because you have to have that little ring there, that other ring round there, and the thing is that we have to have all those fins on top of it, don't we? So you have the pretty one, that little fin underneath, and the create his little face with a stripe, and last but not least, that extra little fin and his face. Now there you go. So there's the basis of your seascape, and I've managed to draw that freehand straight away because I've drawn them all quite a few times. Now what you will then do is you'll spend your time and you will colour it in, and then you, because of colouring in all of the sea, you will get that difference between the sky and the sea, and it will look absolutely gorgeous. So there you go. And then don't forget, the most important part of any artist's work is to sign it and put today's date on it. Oh gosh, I was about to write 2019 then. That's funny. So there you go, there's your little seascape. And what we're going to do is I want you to choose one of those that we're going to use for the environmental project. Okay? Right, thank you. Bye.